Este projeto foi realizado com recursos da Lei Aldir Blanc e é uma realização do Ministério do Turismo, da Secretaria Especial de Cultura do Governo Federal, Governo de Goiás e Secretaria de Estado de Cultura de Goiás. The relationship that food has with society reflects a cultural construction and the identity of a people. Knowing the history of these eating habits is a rescue of a way of living in a past that has been changing with modernity. Because what we eat and the way we eat builds and reveals us. Eating certain dishes is to connect to the place of the product. It is to be part of a history. Regional dishes expresses their identity, which is specific and characteristic of each place. And these dishes are much more than a simple mixture of ingredients, as they narrate the historical process that originated them. This is the first of a series of 3 videos where I'll show you the cuisine of Goiás through some of its main typical dishes and rescue the traditional way in which they were originally prepared. Thus, I register for the world who we are through our culture of eating. The videos are divided into 2 moments, the theoretical part and the practical part. In each video, I start by talking about the origins of the dishes that will then be prepared by me. In this first video, entitled Corn for What?, I will talk about the origin of Goiás cuisine and typical dishes prepared with a grain widely used in several recipes, the corn. In the second video, which I called Rice with What?, I'll show 2 recipes. One is one of the many variations in the making of rice, and the other that represents a traditional Sunday lunch. And in the third video, entitled Candy from What?, I will show you several typical sweeties from Goiás. Well, Goiás is a state in the center of Brazil, and it includes the Federal District, where Brasília, the capital of Brazil, is located. The formation of this state was due to the arrival of the Bandeirantes. The Bandeirantes were pioneering explorers who explored the Brazilian hinterlands between the 16th and 17th centuries. Most were Portuguese or descendants of Portuguese who came mainly in search of gold and precious stones. But here, the Indians already existed, and later there is the presence of Africans in the conditions of slaves. The mixture of these 3 cultures, Portuguese, Indigenous, and African, originated the cuisine of Goiás. The eating habits of Goiás were also influenced by other Brazilian states. For example, the habit of planting vegetables in the backyard is a legacy of São Paulo and Minas Gerais. As the colonization of Goiás and its vegetation has similarities with the states of São Paulo, Minas Gerais, and Mato Grosso, several dishes are shared with these states. However, the peculiar way in which the cuisine of Goiás has developed in the use of foods characteristics of Cerrado sets it apart from the others. The Cerrado, also known as Brazilian Savannah, is the second largest biome in Brazil and South America. It occupies the entire central part of the country. The Cerrado is a very rich ecosystem, both economically and ecologically. It has a multitude of plants and animals. Some of its main fruits, in addition to being consumed in nature, are used to flavor mainly ice cream and popsicles. But that are also widely used as ingredients in the preparation of typical dishes, juices, liqueurs, and sweeties. For example, pequi, guariroba, araticum, caju do cerrado, jatobá, cagaita, murici, mangaba, baru, and buriti coconut. Pequi and guariroba are considered food symbols of Goiás cuisine. Goiano cuisine is very rich. The writer and folklorist Bariane Hortêncio cataloged 190 recipes for salty Goiano dishes, 186 sweet dishes, 32 recipes for drinks, juices, and vinegars, 36 recipes with hunting animals, and 37 recipes with fish. These habits often fulfill symbolic functions, becoming part of rituals, thus reinforcing cultural ties. Traditional religious festivals always involve food. For example, the traditional religious festival named Folia de Reis, which takes place from December 24th to January 6th, and the Folia do Divino, which takes place 50 days after Easter, are cultural events involving prayers, singing, and food. Well, on all festival occasions, food has always been present, providing a joyful social life. Food is involved in cultural, political, and social meetings and is a means of provoking joy and good humor. Until economic transformations, agricultural expansion, and urbanization in 1970, not only did party foods involve the preparation of special food, as well as Sunday lunches. Sunday lunches brought family and friends together. In Goiás, women were generally responsible for cooking and for transmitting culinary knowledge from generation to generation, exchanging recipes inherited from their mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, which were written in hardcover notebooks and kept with jealously. How to keep a treasure full of precious secrets. The insertion of women in the labor market and the changes that have occurred in the last 3 decades have altered eating habits. The modern lifestyle now includes processed foods and ready meals. However, modern food in Goiás, often with adaptations, coexists with traditional practice. And even today, through the streets of any city in the state of Goiás, at around 11 o'clock a.m., it's possible to smell the aroma of fried garlic and keep your mouth water. So, I'm going to talk about a food that's constantly consumed by the people of Goiás. and that's always on Sunday lunches, the corn. Corn is a food consumed since ancient times by pre-Columbian peoples, and when Europeans arrived on the continent, they found several cultivated species. Over time, corn has been improved as it is a plant that has a wide variety of combinations being used for many purposes. Thus, the species of corn that became popular in Brazil was green corn that can be eaten roasted, boiled, salted, in salted dishes such as polenta, angu, couscous, and in sweet dishes such as curau and cakes, and also in juices. From the corn, pamonha is the most appreciated delicacy by the people of Goiás. The mush was created by the Tupi Indians who called it pamonha, which means sticky. The indigenous pamonhas were sweet, mixed with coconut milk, butter, and fennel. The whites added cheese, sausage, cinnamon, and other ingredients. Today, there is pamonha with piqui, dried meat, chicken, scarlet eggplant, and guava jam, among others. The pamonhas can be found in pamonharias, fairs, markets, snack bars in the cities, and on the highways. The favorite pamonha is cooked, but it can be roasted or fried. It's usually served with butter and a cup of black coffee, but it can be served at any time, hot, warm, or cold, or during the meal. The traditional preparation of the pamonhas, usually in the rural area, occurs with the family at the time of the corn harvest. It is a festive celebration of the harvest. The men are tasked with going to the fields to break and bring the corn, cut the ends of the ears, and together with the women and children, peel and grate the ears of corn. They chop the cheese, usually the traditional cheese from Minas Gerais, and patiently remove the hair from the corn. The dough is seasoned, rolled in the maize straws, and cooked in a large pot on the wood stove. During the preparation of the mush, there is the preparation of lunch, when part of the corn dough is used to make angus, curaus, and baked cakes. There is lively conversation, music, and even dating. So, pamonha is one of the typical dishes of our traditional festa junina that takes place in June to celebrate St. Anthony's, St. Peter's, and St. John's Day. Now, I will show in practice the process of preparing the pamonha. Angu, curau, pamonha cake, and skillet pamonha. Come on, follow me. Hello. As I said, the first step is to harvest the corn. Now I am in a cornfield of a friend's farm. Take a look. After harvesting the corn stalks will be used for silage to feed the cattle during the dry season, which in central western Brazil runs from May to October. Now we are in April. The corn harvest takes place between 4 and 6 months after planting. So it's possible to plant twice in the rainy season that runs from October to March, early April. Well, a sign that it's the right time to harvest are the stigmas. See, the hair that comes from the ear. Okay. So the grain is ready to be removed when the hair is in a brown tone and it becomes dry. Okay, then the grain, we know that the grain is ready to be removed from the corn stalk. See? Okay, I'm sure that here I have a good corn cob. Let's start to harvesting. Hello again. Now I'm at another farm, a small farm. It has a very rustic kitchen surrounded by cerrado trees on all sides. Here she built a tapiocanga stone firewood stove. Nice. Here, my friend built a tapiocanga stone firewood stove. In this moment, she's preparing our lunch. Take a look. We have beans and rice. Beans and rice are the basic for Brazilian food. And we already have the water boiling here, almost boiling here, waiting for the pamonhas. Okay, so of course there are some friends helping me. As I've already told you, the preparation of pamonha is a social event. So there are some friends and my daughter helping me today. Nobody uses makeup to prepare pamonhas, but I couldn't show myself to you without makeup, okay? So, are you ready? Come with me. Let's start preparing the delicious Brazilian pamonha. Come on. To avoid and repel mosquitoes, I took a wood and burn it and put it on coffee powder to make a smoke. Because, well, when we are preparing food, many mosquitoes come and be around us. Well, to prepare the fried pamonha with jiló, we put a little bit fat or oil. When it is hot, we put some dressing. Here we have some garlic, onions, and salt. Now we pour some jilós. Well, I'm saying jilós, but in English we can say a kind of eggplant.
Uma xícaras de água quente. Isso. Deixa eu cozinhar. A gordura tá pronta.
Well, I'm going to use 8 corn cob. First, you peel the husks from the ears of corn. You cut the base of the corn cobs, like this. The first husks are not good to be used, so I'm going to throw it away. Well, see, this is a very good one. I'm going to use it because it's big, it's large, and then I reserve it. I reserve the large inner rusk for wrapping the corn cakes, the corn pamonhas. You reserve the large inner rusks for wrapping the corn pamonhas. Now I add water, hot water, to cover them, to make them to become softer. Well, then you take the smaller inner rusks to make strips to tie pamonhas like this. So we tie firmly. Oops. Let me use another. Well, what I'm doing here is to prepare pamonha in the traditional way, because in the modern way that we do it in a faster way is to use it rubber. Okay, let's reserve it now. Now I chop the cheese in small pieces and then I reserve the pieces. Okay, now you clean the corn, taking the hair out. You have to be patient when you are doing this. Now we're going to grate it, to grate the corn. Well, this is the traditional way, but of course you can also blend the corn and you're going to have the same dough, okay? Well, let's grate. Well, we can feel really tired doing that. Of course, there is a modern way that grate the corn in a very fast way. We have a machine, an electrical machine, that can do it, well, faster, really faster than human being heads. Okay, so here we have the dough. Then we're going to put a really hot half cup of pork fat or oil or butter or margarine. Then we mix. Why do we have to use it really hot? Because we are going to get a soft pamonha. If we put it cold, it's going to be so heavy. Okay, now I put a pinch of salt, and a teacup of sugar. Okay, so we mix it, then we're going to start to prepare the pamonha. Now you taste it. For me it's nice. It's perfect. You can add more sugar or you can use less sugar. It depends of your taste. Okay? Now let's prepare the pamonha. Okay. You take 2 corn husks. Then take the widest part. Use 3 fingers on the side and rock, shaping the leaves like a pouch. Using these 3 fingers to hold the part that runs through. With the other hand, bend the tip of the bottom to shape like a cup with the opening facing up. Now, we fill with some corn dough until about half. Now, I put a piece of cheese inside it. Then, I cover it using 1 or 2 husks, making another bag like the first one, so forming a package. Well, I think it's better to use another one. Now I bend, and now I'm going to tie it, and I need some help. Well, you tie with the strips of corn husks fiber, but without squeezing too tight. Okay, now I'm going to prepare another one, but I'm not going to use this strip anymore. I'm going to use this rubber. That's really easier to prepare the pamonha. Okay, let's do it again. I take a rusk, using 3 fingers on the inside and wrap, shaping the leaves like a pound, and using 3 fingers to hold the part that run through. Okay, with the other hand, bend the tip of the bottom to shape like a cup with some corn dough. With some corn dough, I will fill it. I can fill in half of the rusk. A little bit more. Then a piece of cheese. Okay. Now I cover it using another rusk, making another bag like the first one. Then I bend the tip of the bottom and form a package. Now I don't need help, a friend's help now, because I can do by myself. Okay. Follow me. In a large saucepan with enough boiling water, I place the pamonhas and cover and simmer in boiling water for about 45 minutes. When I will note that they are ready. They'll be ready when the corn rusks start to turn yellowish. Okay, now hold on, I will prepare other pamonhas. Now we are going to prepare the salt pamonha. Here I have the dough, and I will use for remember 8 to 10 corn cob, a small spoon of salt, but you can use more or less, depends on your taste. Mix. Now I'm going to use a hot pork fat or really hot oil or butter or margarine. In the same way I prepared the sweetie ones. Hold on. Remember that I have to use it really hot, because in this way I can get very soft pamonhas. If I use it cold, the pamonha is going to be heavy. Okay, now let's prepare it the same way. Wrapping the around my fingers, bend it, and fill in with in a half. I'm going to put the ball next to the smoke because of the mosquito, to avoid the presence of the mosquitoes. I put in a piece of cheese. Of course, it's optional. Then I use another rusk, wrap it, bend this part again, and I will try to tie it along. Let's see if I'll be able to do that. Yeah, I could do that. I tie it firmly, but you don't have to squeeze. Ready. This is the salt one. Now I'm going to prepare a different pamonha. Well, I think this kind of pamonha exists only here in Brazil. Anywhere I could see that they have this kind of pamonha. I'm going to prepare a pamonha with jiló. Follow me. I take a rusk, wrap it around my fingers, make a kind of cup, fill in with the dough. Be careful not to fill in all the rusk, just half. You can fill in with a piece of cheese or not. It's optional. Then I put some fried jiló. A little bit more. Take another rusk. Oops. Wrap it. bend it again. And I'm going to use a yellow rubber to remember that this is a different one. Now I'm going to prepare another different salt pamonha. This pamonha, I'm going to use some sausage. Remember, I fried the sausage and then I will use it with piece of cheese or alone. I take the rusk, wrap it around my fingers, shape it similar to a oops, let's see again. Okay, bend it as if I have a cup, fill in with dough. Just half. I put piece of cheese and a piece of sausage. Take another rusk, wrap it around the first one, bend it. Now I'm going to use a yellow rubber and a picky one to remember that this pamonha is made with sausage. And now I'll take them to the boiling water. After 45 minutes, at about 45 minutes, I will take them out when the rusk is becoming yellowish. So, okay, let's take a look if our pamonhas are ready. Well, they are continue green. See? This is becoming a little bit yellow, but it continue green. So, I'm going to turn them to the other side and let them continue cooking. We have to wait a little bit more. Oh, it becomes almost ready. Alright, 45 minutes later, the pamonhas are ready. Take a look. So, these yellowish are ready to be removed. But take a look. This pamonha is still green because we put it here later. Now, we remove the pamonhas carefully. Well, we remove the pamonhas carefully And then we serve them hot or at room temperature, drizzled with melted butter. It's really good. Let's taste it. Do you have melted butter? Manteiga? It's smelling good. Now it's softening hair. It's difficult to take out all of the hair. Yummy. It's very delicious. Now, can you see? The cheese melted, and I can add melt butter on it. Of course, it's optional. It's really delicious. Let's taste pamonha with the cheese, melted cheese. Out of the world. Perfect. Now let's taste the sausage pamonha. It smells so good. Just wonderful. We are going to prepare now 3 types of cream using fresh green corn. 2 of them are sweetie, 1 is salt. The sweeties are called curau. The salt one is called angu. The sweeties are kind of a dessert, and the salt is served with chicken at lunchtime. Let's prepare the first one. It's curau that you can eat with a spoon. Okay. Here I have 3 corns, cobs. I'm going to remove the grains of the 3 fresh corn from cobs by cutting them with a knife. Well, now I place the corn in a blender. And I will blend it with 3 cups of milk, 1, 2, 3, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of sugar, a little bit more. Now we blend it. Okay, I've blended it for about 2-3 minutes. We have to blend it very well because we're going to use it like this, a liquid dough. I put it in a pan and now I take it to be cooked, and I have to mix it all the time without stopping. Now I start to mix until I get this dough more firm. When it becomes dark yellow, you add a cup of condensed milk and continue cooking until it gets the consistency you want. When it is ready, put the dough in a recipient and sprinkle cinnamon for dusting. Now, when it becomes cold, take it into the fridge. After half an hour, it's ready to be served. Now, let's prepare a second type of curau. I'm going to use 3 fresh green corn with the hardest grains. That's one of the difference from this second recipe of the curau with the first one. I have already done. I have already prepared. See, these grains are harder than the others. I remove the grains from the cobs. Okay, so you can see that they are a little bit harder than the others. Now, I put them in the blend. Oops. A pinch of salt. I add 3 cups of milk. The recipe is the same. The ingredients are the same. Now I'm going to blend it. Okay, after I had blended it for at about 2 or 3 minutes, I take the juice out from the dough. That's the second difference from the first recipe. We are going to use this juice to prepare this curau. And what about this dough? Well, it's going to be used to prepare a corn cake later. So let's keep it here. Okay, now we're going to do it the same way. We're going to cook it until it gets the consistency I want, a creamy consistency, because this dessert, this curau, would be like the consistency of a pudding. Let's take it to be cooked. And we have to mix it all the time without stopping. until it gets a consistency, and then we can add condensed milk, a cup of condensed milk, and continue cooking. Take a look at this consistency. It looks like a flan. Now it's the time to put the condensed milk. A cup of condensed milk. Now cook a little bit more, and it's ready. Okay, so when it's ready, put the dough in a recipient and sprinkle cinnamon for dusting. When it's cold, take it into the fridge, wait for half an hour, and then it's ready to be served. Do you remember the dough that I drained the juice to prepare the curau? Okay, here it is. Yeah, I add more dough here. So I can consider that I have at about 8 to 9 cobs. Let's prepare a cake. A green corn cake. All right. I add butter or margarine, a spoon of butter or margarine. You can use hot pork fat too, hot oil or melted butter, melted margarine, okay? A cup of sugar, a pinch of salt, and coconut milk. Three eggs. You mix, just mix. It's not necessary to blend. And now let's add some sliced cheese. Do you remember that Mineiro cheese? Okay. I cut it in small pieces. Finally, let's use the powder. Now I'm going to use this, but with some Parmesan cheese before to put the dough here. I sprinkle some Parmesan cheese all over it. Okay. Then put the dough. And let's take it to the oven. Okay, now let's prepare the surdy cream. Well, it's a salt cream and we call it angu. You remove the grains from the cobs. Okay, we place the grain in a blender. Then a pinch of salt. A pinch of sugar, and 3 cups of water. Now we blend it for about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, now you put the dough in a pan. And you take it to be cooked. And remember that you have to mix all the time without stopping. Okay, let's taste the curau. looks like a flan. And let's taste the cake. It's really good. It's really delicious. Creamy. Well, really delicious. Now the cake. Fantastic. The cheese inside it is melted, and you can feel, you can taste the cheese, and it's not so sweet. It's perfect, very delicious.